Deep inside the school cafeteria lies extraordinary tales of wonder and secrets waiting to be revealed. These are only a few things we look at in the journey behind the myths of the cafeteria. Since the dawn of civilization, mankind has been eating lunch. Only through adolescence, we eat lunch in the school cafeteria. We start our journey at a small town of Dillsburg, most famously recognized for their love of pickles. They have a high school, and there we find the cafeteria. Now we head to the main district lunch corridor. Scott Shedlock sets up what the lunch workers will make and then what they will serve. This information will then get pushed to the elementary, middle, and high schools. What all goes into lunch productions for the district?
When we're doing the menu and coming up with the menu choices, there's a lot of things that we have to take into consideration. The biggest one is the guidelines that are set forth for us, and that comes through the Healthy and Hungry-Free Kids Act. This was established back in 2010. Basically, it goes over certain guidelines that we have to meet for each grade level. Some of the other things that we have to take into consideration are price and availability of the items. Sometimes we're looking at putting on menu items that may not meet what we need as far as availability. We take into consideration the inventory that we receive from the government. We do receive government food yearly, and based on that we try to incorporate the menus around that as well.
If you could add anything to current menus, what would you add and why?
I don't see it really as adding anything to the menus. I'll talk to you about it in two different parts. One, the first being, I would add flexibility to the menu. One of the things that we're required through the guidelines in the National School Lunch Program, I'm going to use an example of whole grains. We are right now 100% whole grain in each of the schools. The whole grain item, if we had a little bit more flexibility as we did in years previous, we only had to use a percentage of whole grains in our food. I believe that the consumption from the students and the popularity items would be a lot better. One thing that I will mention that we did add, we are now using a lot more local products. Many of you are familiar with the food hub that we have here at the high school, which is run by Mr. Patrick Andrews. One of the things that we've been trying to do is incorporate more and more local foods. Our milk is from a local company, our beef products are from a local company, and we've been bringing in a lot more produce. The apples that you receive on the lunch line, they come from a local farm here within a few miles of the school district. So we've added a lot of local products. I think the students are taking to them very well. As far as the other end of that, flexibility is in the meal pattern, whole grains being an example of one of the requirements.
What do you think they should add to the menu?
I think that if there's one thing that they should add to the cafeteria, they should bring back the slushy machine.
To me, nothing at all. It's fine the way it is.
Like I said before, I really don't think there should be any additions. I really enjoy the food there. It's really, really good. A lot of healthy choices.
Cookies. Just cookies.
I think they should add cookies back to the school menu.
I think they shouldn't add anything to the menu. It has great variety and many choices to choose from.
We heard that the cafeteria used to have a slushy machine. Would it be possible to bring it back? If not, why not?
At the high school, we used to have a slushy machine here. We used to run 2 different flavors at a time. The question came up as to whether or not why we don't have the slushy machine anymore. When we looked at the sales as well as the profit that we were making off the slushy sales, we had to take into consideration the time and the maintenance as well as the price of the product. Again, the food service department being self-funding, we have to look at what the bottom line is going to be. Unfortunately, the sales of the slushy was not that popular. Students did take it, but it wasn't meeting the levels that we needed to in order for us to make a profit. That was one of the reasons why we switched out to slushy machine. We do offer full 100% juice products on a daily basis. Unfortunately, though, use of the slushy as part of the fruit component in the National School Lunch Program meal or as an a la carte item just didn't meet what our needs were.
How do you come up with the menu choices, and what guidelines must you follow before you finalize these choices?
The biggest and foremost is the national guidelines that were set forth in the Healthy and Hungry Free Kids Act. These guidelines require school districts to provide certain amounts of certain items, vegetable, milk, grain, protein, to students on a daily basis. It's broken up by grade level for each age group. One of the other things that we have to take a look at, and these two pretty much go together, is availability and price of the items. Some of the items with this Healthy and Hunger Free Kids Act, such as whole grain items and stuff, it's increased the price of our budget, so to speak. We have to fall within certain guidelines so that the food service department can still make a profit. This food service department is self-funding, not really part of the general fund, so we do self-fund ourselves. And lastly, student taste. We try to incorporate those items on the menu that are popular with students and that will attract, of course, student consumption.
How do you feel about the lunch choices?
I like the choices. Personally, my favorite is the spicy chicken patty, and I like the fruit choices especially. A lot of good vegetables in there as well.
They're pretty good.
The lunch choices are pretty basic. Everything that you want that you can get. Other things that you have to pay for.
I think the lunchroom has a lot of options and variety, so I feel like it's good.
You know, me personally, I really don't think they should add anything other than the cookies. Really miss the cookies, but other than that, I think our cafeteria performs at the highest level.
I feel that the lunch choices this year are a lot better than the previous years. They've added a lot more and there's a lot of effort put into it.
Do we outsource food?
Outsourcing food, that's a good question. In years previous, we used to do a lot more outsourcing, primarily our pizza day. Friday is pizza day here in Northern School District for all the schools. We used to outsource our product to both Little Caesars and Domino's. The schools were split up. Right now, we are only outsourcing for the high school Subway. The reason why we don't outsource more foods, a couple different reasons. One, the items need to meet National School Lunch Program requirements. Right now, Subway is the only one that is offering that at a competitive price. We have to take into consideration the service and the quality of the product. We had some issues in the previous with other vendors as far as size and meeting those requirements that we require here at the school district in order to meet those National School Lunch Program. So why don't we outsource more? One, sometimes product isn't available. Questions came to me at Taco Bell. Those items wouldn't meet the National School Lunch Program requirements. Subway is, and that's why we continue to do Subway. Pizza at this point in time, as far as looking at a profit and loss, we make more profit off the items that we serve right now. Basically the reason why.
Why don't we use plastic knives?
Why don't we use plastic knives? Well, that's a pretty good question. I've been doing this for 16 years here at Northern School District. Ever since I've been here, we've never used plastic knives. We try to make all our items fork friendly, and that stems not only from the high school but down to the elementary level. What I mean by fork friendly, take into consideration the ham at the holiday meal or the turkey at a holiday meal. It's just one of those things that we've never done here, so we try to make it as easy as possible for the students. In conjunction with that, adding knives would just be another cost for the food service department. We're already providing trays and plastic forks and spoons and napkins and all. Can we add plastic knives to them? Sure, we could take that into consideration for future years, but as of right now, we're still trying to make things as fork friendly as possible for the students.
How often do you eat the cafeteria food?
Every day. I eat it every day. I love the salads.
Every day. That's all I eat here. Cafeteria food.
I eat the cafeteria food every day.
I eat the cafeteria food every day.
I'd say about once or twice a week.
Oh, I eat the food out every day too.
What goes into the production of a lunch?
The production to get a lunch together, we have to follow a menu. We have to make sure I have the proper quantities. I do that partially by memory, but I do keep a log on how many lunches we serve. For instance, let's say grilled cheese. I'll make 10 trays of grilled cheese sandwiches, which roughly is around 240 sandwiches for a lunch. And again, just following recipes, following the menu, making sure the serving sizes are right, things like that.
Are you stressed during half days?
Yes, we have to do back-to-back lunches, which makes it very, very difficult. When I say back-to-back, I mean we're talking like 20-minute lunches and try to feed everybody and get you out so you can get back on the road safely and get home to your parents.
Are you happy about the serving sizes?
Yes, I'm happy about the serving sizes because each day varies, but it's normally a good amount.
Yeah, it's not a problem for me.
I think the serving sizes are good. I mean, you pay for what you get, so if you want to get to something, then go ahead.
Yes, I love the serving sizes.
From time to time, yeah, unless you're really, really hungry, then you want more, so then you get more.
Oh, definitely.
Do you add extra flair in your food?
Yes, I do put extra flair into my food. I always taste my food, make sure that it's good for you guys. If it needs salt, extra garlic powder, extra oregano, any of that type of stuff. Now that we have a garden here at school, I do use a lot of the dried herbs that the kids grow. So yes, I do try to put extra flair into it and make things look nice and always taste good.
Have you ever gotten complaints about food? And what was the worst one?
As far as compliments about our food, I think we are getting a lot of good feedback from the kids as far as what we're making. I've been trying to do some different things, so has the ladies on a la carte. Always feedback is great from you guys. I think the worst thing that we ever have is when we find a hair in the food, and I do apologize for that. We're human, we always wear hair nets, we try to do the safety standards and all that, but occasionally it happens.
So the next time you get lunch at the school cafeteria, remember how much effort it takes to provide you with a nutritious and good tasting meal.